Hey, howdy neighbor. Did you know that most plumbing emergencies can be prevented with just some basic knowledge?
Today we're covering leaks, shutoff valves, and water pressure issues.
These are some things every homeowner needs to know. Okay, so your master shutoff valve controls all the water that comes into your home. It's really important to know where this is in case you have some sort of emergency leak. Let's talk to Jarrid about where to find that. All right, Jarrid, you've got us back out here at our meter again. Where else might we find a master shutoff valve?
Some of the newer houses, you might find it in the garage or even a closet.
Okay, and if they don't know where to find it, what can they do?
They can always shut it off here, but they would need a meter key.
All right, and why would we turn off our meter?
If you had any kind of leak inside your house, something's running constantly and you don't want to use a bunch of water, that would be reasons to shut it off.
Okay, can you show us how to turn this valve off?
This right here is your main shut-off valve. This is on the city side. Sometimes we run into an issue where they don't shut off completely, or they don't shut off at all because they're too hard to turn, in which cases you would have to call the city to get that remedied. But otherwise, if you would have a meter key, you would just turn that in the clockwise position until it's fully shut off, and then the water will be off.
Would it be helpful to have it labeled maybe?
If you feel inclined to do so, yes, you can.
And like, who in your house should know how to do this?
I would say everybody.
Okay, I feel like that's fair. How often should you test it?
You shouldn't ever have to test it. It's what they call a corporal valve.
Mm-hmm.
Basically the early versions of a ball valve, which are the better valves, and the one valves that we install all the time now. They very rarely freeze, or what I mean by freeze is get hard to turn.
All right, now I'm going to take us back inside and we're going to look how to shut off our fixtures inside the house in case it's just like maybe a leak in your sink or at your toilet or something. All right, Jarrid, we're in here. We are looking behind the toilet at this shutoff valve. When would you want to use this?
If your toilet's overflowing, if it's constantly running and it's not shutting off by itself, then you want to turn this off. I have here a quarter turn valve. This is different than a lot of valves. This is a quarter turn valve, is where this is on and that is off. Now, when I initially turned it, it was a little bit harder to turn, but that happens with not being used. That's why it's very important also to exercise these valves, so they'll stay in good working order. A lot of them are multi-turns where you'll have to turn it like 5 or 6 times to get it shut off. This is a quarter turn. All the ones in my house are quarter turns.
I know you're real passionate about what kind of supply line goes with that too. You want to talk about that?
You'll see that I have a metal top supply line. A lot of houses that we go into have a plastic supply line, this top piece, and a lot of times I'll see that cracked. And it may not be leaking, but it's getting pretty close to being leaking if it's cracked. I usually recommend to my customers, if they don't have the metal top toilet supply lines, that they get them swapped out pretty quickly.
And then final thoughts. How often should somebody come in here and exercise that valve?
Probably about once every 2 months.
Okay, just to make sure it's still good.
Yeah, if you're a stickler with having like scheduled, put it on a schedule.
All of this is just to make the point that small leaks add up really fast. So if you have a small leak and you need to repair it, you need to shut it off at one of your valves. If you can't do it at the fixture, you're gonna have to go outside and do it at the main, but you never wanna repair a leak with the water still on. Okay, so in addition to leaks, you might have issues with your pressure in your house. I hate a low pressure shower, honestly. So let's talk about that. Hey Jarrid, what are some common causes of low pressure?
You could have a buildup of sediment in like an aerator on your faucet, which is where the part that actually the water comes out of. That would be the first thing I would say to check. Pull the aerator off, see if there's a bunch of buildup in it, put it back on and see if it works better. If that doesn't seem to help, then the likely scenario is it could be something going on with your PRV, which is a pressure regulating valve by the meter. What you can do then is test it by turning on one single faucet and then going around in the house, turning on another faucet somewhere and see if the pressure seems like it's visibly dropped quite a bit. If that happens, then you definitely do have something going on with your PRV.
What if they just tested their valves? Could they have partially left them closed?
An angle stop, even if it's halfway on, will not block water pressure. There's not a whole lot of demand of water to these fixtures that the angle stop. Now it could be, if you did have the angle stop halfway off, it could be causing a hammering issue. Okay. Which is another sign of having a bad PRV also.
What about shower heads? Why might you have low pressure in your shower.
Same thing with the aerators behind the shower heads where it's connected to the riser pipe. There's usually a little filter screen inside there. If you pull it off and look at it, you may have a buildup of stuff in there.
So is low water pressure like a major issue?
Not really, but if it's a PRV issue, then it can be. It's causing problems all over the whole house.
So maybe it's a clue to a bigger problem.
Yeah.
All right. So we're looking at what, Jared?
This here is a 3/4 PRV. It's set at 65 PSI. So the pressure coming from the city is 100 pounds, and I have this one reduced to 65 PSI. You adjust that by using this, you unscrew this bolt or this nut right here, and then you screw this in or out to adjust your pressure. When they start to go bad, you'll see crazy pressure fluctuations depending on how many faucets you turn on in your house. And also you'll see a noticeable drop in your pressure without anything happening. Like if you have 65 PSI and it drops down to 40 PSI, you probably have a problem with this thing.
Okay, so there you have it. If you know these things, you're ahead of the game for most homeowners. Just give us a call at 979-324-7611 if you have any additional questions. We're here to help you. You can save this video, thank yourself later, and just follow us on our social media. Thanks.
Excellent plumbers you can trust.